Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about essay writing. We're going to be talking about the formats of how to write an essay, how to lay out your arguments, and finally how to get the best marks possible. A couple of disclaimers. Firstly, this is talking more about history essays, fact finding, telling a story, things like that. So this might not be the same as English narrative essays, descriptive essays, and things like that. And secondly, this is aimed towards younger essay writers. We're talking grade 7, 8, and 9. But I will be releasing another video, hopefully soon, talking about how to write better essays for older grades, so grade 10 and up. So if you are in those older grades, feel free to continue watching the video, but just note this is not quite aimed for you. First thing we need to discuss is the stress about essay writing. When people hear about essays, they get really scared. Let's be honest, it's a pretty terrifying thought, having to write pages and pages of information. But the first thing that we need to really think about is all we're really doing is telling a story, and we're making sure that the story flows in a very logical way. So hopefully if you follow these 4 steps that I have laid out for you, that you will be able to write the perfect essay. So let's get started. Step 1, read the essay question properly. I cannot stress this enough. There are words in your essay question that will tell you exactly what it's looking for. So let's say, for example, we're writing an essay about cats and dogs. There are quite a few number of ways that the essay could be worded, which could make you have to write a completely different essay. Example 1, for example. Explain why dogs are better than cats. Now, this essay topic is asking you to give all the reasons why dogs are a much better pet than cats. So you could write a paragraph about all the positive things about dogs and maybe another paragraph about why cats aren't so very nice. And that's kind of the point of the essay is to get the reader to agree with you that dogs are better than cats. Right? Another way that it could be phrased is compare dogs and cats as pets. Now, this essay is asking for something different. It's not asking you to convince the reader of anything, but rather you're comparing both dogs and cats. So you can write a paragraph about the good things about dogs, another paragraph about the bad things about dogs, maybe another paragraph about the good things about cats, and then the bad things about cats. So you are pretty much laying out all the information on the table so that the person reading your essay will be able to make their own decision. And then finally, another way they could ask this question would say, argue whether you believe that dogs or cats make better pets. And this is one where you're asked to choose a side. The essay is not telling you which side to pick, but you have to decide which side you're going with. So are you going to write an essay about dogs being better? Or are you going to be writing an essay about cats being better? But the catch with an argue essay is that you have to choose a side and stay there. You can't say dogs are nice, but cats are nice too. When you're arguing, you're picking a side and you're sticking to it. Right? Now, all 3 of those essay topics, we're talking about cats and dogs, but all 3 of them are asking for completely different things. So that's why step 1, read your essay question properly, is probably the most important step, besides actually writing the essay. Now, a lot of my students tell me that they don't need to plan at all. They're just going to pull up the paper and start writing, and as the ideas come in, they're just going to write it in their essay and it's going to be fabulous. They're very, very wrong. Right? Planning is a pretty essential part, and it actually doesn't even matter how you plan. Some ways that people plan is they make a mind map and they try to get similar ideas into similar paragraphs. Other people literally write down everything that they need to know and then categorize them into different sections. You need to make sure that each paragraph is talking about something new, but is also talking about the same thing. Right? You don't want to read an essay where they start talking about good stuff about dogs and then later they go back to it and they're like, oh, shoot, I forgot about this. I'm just going to add it somewhere at the end. Your essay needs to have logical coherence. It needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it needs to make sure that all of its facts are put in a simple way that the person reading your essay will be able to understand it. It mustn't just be a jumble of ideas that pop into your head. It needs to be a nice beginning, middle, end of facts. Step 3 is your introduction. Now, some people seem to think that the first paragraph is your introduction. So whatever is at the top is your introduction, which is very wrong. Right? Your introduction is your place where you explain to the person reading anything that they need to understand. So basically, you need to give them context, right? So, for example, let's pretend that the essay is still about cats and dogs. When you write your essay, you need to assume that the person reading it has no idea what you're talking about. So basically, in this essay, you're going to pretend that the person reading it is an alien from outer space who has never seen a cat or a dog before. Right? So, in your introduction, you're going to first explain what cats and dogs are. Cats and dogs are pets that live in people's houses. They have been domesticated from wild animals and they provide love and comfort or whatever it is. Right? So you start off your essay by giving people that very important information that they need. So the alien in outer space will go, "Ooh, I understand what this is," before they carry on reading your essay. You're then going to finish off your introduction by explaining what you're going to be doing in this essay. Right? So you're going to say something like, "In this essay, I will be discussing why I think cats and dogs are great pets, or why I think dogs are better than cats." So, whatever it is the essay is asking you to do, you're going to put it there. So, that pretty much is your statement sentence. What is the purpose of your essay? The body of your essay is where you're going to be putting all your information. So, pretty much the main facts of your essay. The one thing that you do need to know about your body is that it needs to be made up of paragraphs. Each paragraph needs to be talking about something new, and each paragraph can only talk about one thing. So let's say, for example, we're talking about dogs as pets. My first paragraph is going to be talking about the personality of dogs. So you'll say things about how friendly they are, how much joy they bring to people's lives, and things like that. Right? My second paragraph could maybe be talking about uh, other uses for dogs. Dogs can be used to support blind people. Dogs can be used as in other service capacities as emotional support animals, things like that. My third paragraph could maybe be talking about the expenses that come with dogs. You have to feed them, you got to take them to the vet once a year, things like that. But every single paragraph talks about something new, and every single paragraph has its own topic. Now, planning your essay would really help with this because you already know what every single paragraph is going to talk about, and you won't be bouncing between topics like we discussed earlier. Right? Usually, your body should be about 3 or 4 paragraphs, and you're going to make sure that you're not repeating yourself. So, if you said something before in a previous paragraph, don't mention it again. And finally, your conclusion. If all of your paragraphs were flowers, your conclusion would be the beautiful ribbon that ties it all together and makes it into a gorgeous bouquet. A conclusion is where you take the main points that you discussed and you repeat them. So you can say, "In this essay, I have discussed that dogs have fantastic personalities, are used in service capacities, and can also be a little bit expensive." Right? So you've pretty much summarized all the main points of your essay. This is also the place where you're allowed to give your opinion. So I would say things like, "I personally believe that dogs are wonderful. I couldn't imagine my life without a dog," or something like that. But the big, big, big thing that you need to know about conclusions is that you are not allowed to add any new information to your essay. So you can't say, "Oh, and also I forgot to say that dogs can be in TV commercials," right? That's not allowed. you cannot put new information into your conclusion. Your conclusion is pretty much going to be the last final bit that the person reads. And if you were smart, you would probably add something deep and meaningful to the end of your conclusion that would make people remember it. So, okay, now I'm going to have to try and think of something deep and meaningful. Dogs are angels that have been sent to Earth, or something like that. And that's pretty much it. That is how to write the perfect essay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the only way to write the perfect essay is to practice writing the perfect essay. It's not something that comes naturally to a lot of people, and so practice, practice, practice is what is recommended. If you have a really nice teacher, maybe write a practice essay, ask them to look it over for you if they have time. I'm sure teachers are pretty busy, like me. But yeah, I hope these tips and tricks have helped you out on how to write the perfect essay. If you enjoyed this video, if you found this helpful, please give it a like, comment down below if this has been useful to you. Share this with all your friends, because everybody writes essays as far as I'm aware. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Ciao!